All right, Steeler fans, it's Friday. It's the second half, and it's time for the All Bets Are Off segment. I'm joined by Jeremy Betz, as always. What's up, Jeremy?
Hey, man, the Steelers might be taking a week off, but we don't take a week off here at Steel Curtain
Hell
Network.
no. I had someone ask me today, like, oh, in the offseason, do you not podcast? I was like, what is the offseason? Like,
Yeah.
Is that a thing? The National Football League has no offseason. But anyways,
right.
we started to talk about it, and they laughed, and they go, I guess you're right, because everything is an event in the National Football League. But here we are. Steelers are 6-2, sitting in a good spot, both in the AFC and especially in the AFC North. We're going to get to our predictions to the AFC North games here shortly, but I want to ask you, here we are, 8 games in. What's your thoughts? Happy?
Yeah.
Disappointed? Surprised? What's the adjective you're using to describe the team at 6-2?
I think excited is just the word I would use, because I don't know, Jeff, I'm sure you feel the same way. We've talked. I see what you write. I listen to your shows. This team feels different this year than we've seen in the last 4, 5, 6 years, even out of Pittsburgh Steelers football. And it's kind of like everything we had asked for from the Steelers going into 2024 has kind of played out. We wanted them to have some semblance of NFL level offense to be able to play with a defense that's supposed to be and is playing out as one of the best in the league. We needed them to jump out to a fast start with the backloaded schedule. They've done that. They're playing up to expectations so far, and I think even raising the bar for what we should expect out of them moving forward. So that's why I say excited. I see an offense that is continuing to grow. I see a running game that is on fire, a quarterback that knows the offense and hits the receivers and runs the show. I see a defense that, despite some injuries, has still played as the number 2 scoring defense, number 3 in takeaways, number 4 in point differential. It's just a really good team. And I don't think you can look across the NFL and look at anybody who's playing much better complementary football than the Pittsburgh Steelers are as they go into their bye week. It's pretty exciting.
Exciting is a good word. And, I wrote Thursday for SteelCurtainNetwork.com, my Steelers stock report article. And one of the trending down stocks was the bye week. And I explained myself by saying that I can't speak for everyone that's reading this article, but the last few seasons have not been exciting. They've been almost torturous to watch at times. I remember sitting down in our basement here with my kids, and there was nothing to cheer about.
Yeah.
TJ Watt would have a big sack. Like, all right, here we go. 3 and out. Oh, great. Or someone would have an interception. Here we go. 3 and out. Or turn it over themselves. There was nothing to cheer about for any amount of there was no consistency in the excitement level, if we want to put it that way. This year's different. This year, I have a feeling that if the Steelers needed to produce offense, they can actually produce offense.
Right.
And I felt that way when Justin Fields was the quarterback as well as Russell Wilson, but I feel even more so since Russell Wilson has taken over. I mean, I don't know if you know this, Jeremy. Steelers are averaging 23.4 points per game.
Yeah.
Think about that. That's almost a touchdown better than where they were the last 2 seasons. That's incredibly drastic in terms of a jump in the correct direction. And I don't think they're done. I think that they could be, and I said this in the first half, my wish was for them to maybe get to 27. I don't think 30. That's a little much. But still, they could get to 27, I think. But this offense has me really excited. Are you afraid of a drop-off at all?
I think that talent-wise, from the opponents that they're going to be facing in the future, the offense is set up pretty well. The defenses that they're going to face have not been as dynamic as some of the ones that they've already faced. The offenses that they're going to face are going to be a lot better. That it's kind of a flip from what the early portion of the season was. And so I think that there's definitely room for dynamic offense to continue in Pittsburgh. I look at Russell Wilson is 3rd in the NFL in passing yards per game right now. And I know he's only played 2 games, but you have to look at that metric more so than his overall numbers in comparison to the league leaders, because to me, you come in cold to an Arthur Smith system already putting up these types of numbers, I think you have a good chance to continue that type of success the way you're playing, the type of weapons you have, and with the defense giving you maybe 1 or 2 extra possessions a game to get some more yards, some more point totals. And so I really do think that the Steelers offense can keep this up. I don't think it drops down below this 23 number. The rest of the season, I think it could only climb. I'm not going to say they're going to shoot up to 27, but I think 24, 25 points per game, that range is kind of what I would expect out of this offense moving forward. Can the Steelers defense keep up? I think they can. But the one thing you said that really I agree with the most is that if the Steelers defense isn't on their A game, the Steelers have an offense that can make up for it to a degree. I'm not going to say that they're going to go win a 38-35 game against the Ravens necessarily, but they have enough juice on that side of the ball. If the defense struggles for a half or something like that, they can make up for it. And that has not been the case the last few years.
Yeah. So Russell Wilson, obviously being at the helm, small sample size, as you mentioned. What's your take on the Arthur Smith, Russell Wilson offense after just 2 games?
I think it plays really well to his strengths. And honestly, I thought Arthur Smith was doing that with Fields to a degree as well. You just were missing out on Fields taking advantage of some of the open throws that Arthur Smith's scheme was putting out there. We do have an offensive scheme under Artie Smith that produces open players and big runs in and of itself, right? And then you now have the players who can capitalize on that and not have to do everything for themselves. But I think when you're specifically talking Russell Wilson and Arthur Smith together, they seem to be on the exact same page as far as using the running game to set up the passing game, using that play action, especially on early downs. Play action is killer for them right now, moving the ball down the field. And if it's not there, taking that check down and not having negative plays because you missed a receiver down the field and now you're taking a big sack. Wilson, we might see some more sacks out of him moving forward. We might see some regression to the mean in that regard, but it's been really clean. And I think that the way that the offense is designed, it fits Wilson's strengths and kind of limits his weaknesses is what I've been seeing so far. Moving him out of the pocket, not making him sit still back there like a statue. It's never been his game, and it can't be his game if the Steelers want to continue to be successful.
I love the what I saw the most that really excited me was the tempo they used against the Giants. When it wasn't no huddle. They muddle huddled or they went tempo. And that's, to me, that's like, wow, this is just another layer. So it has me excited talking about our excitement level. What else do they have in store for this defense? Because if they can get a mismatch and they like that mismatch, let's keep that defense on the field. Don't let them substitute. And sometimes it might not even be Russell Wilson running the ball or throwing the ball. It might be Najee Harris running the ball because they've got a light box. They've got Darnell Washington. They've got Pat Freiermuth who they can bring in line. And now all of a sudden they're going to run it right down your throat. This offense is just getting started. I honestly do believe that. And when you look at the schedule, they have more favorable matchups in the back half than they did in the front half. It's flipped for the defense. The defense is facing offenses that are much more prolific. But the offense is going to be facing defenses that are not as good as your Denvers, as your Los Angeles Chargers, as your New York Jets, even as your New York Giants. Like those are just a handful.
Giants too.
So I'm excited. I am really excited about what's going to be on the docket coming up here in the second half. Before we go into our AFC North, do you have a prediction for how they finish in the last 9 games?
So if I were a betting man, and sometimes I am, the 10.5 over under right now on DraftKings. I'm taking the over on that.
Well, that wasn't the preseason over under. The preseason over under, I think, was correct. Like 9.5, maybe
9.5. Yes,
okay.
They've bumped it up a game.
Up. Got it.
Yes. So I would take that right now. I think the Steelers have a shot at winning 6 of their last 9, but so that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say that the Steelers finish with a 12-5 record. And And at the lowest, I think it's 11-6, and 12-5 is probably good enough for the division. The way the Ravens are playing on defense, if you're winning 6 of those games, you probably beat them once at least, and you have a leg up in that regard too. So I'm really optimistic about the Steelers getting a home game for the playoffs. If I'm gonna make a prediction right now, it's that they're a division winner hosting a playoff game, and have a near the top of the AFC record. 5 losses feels about right to me. I don't know if Kansas City's going to lose a game this
they're going to lose a game.
They've got cake schedules, but Denver's probably going to beat them at some point.
How cool would it be if that Christmas Day game against Kansas City was super significant? Remember, last year the Chiefs lost to the Raiders on Christmas Day. They are capable of a stinker, and they haven't been playing great offensive football anyways. I think they're due for a loss or two, and if they could be a similar record, man, that would be awesome to see. That Christmas Day game means something.
Yeah, could you see the Saturday game against Baltimore being for the division, and then the Christmas game against Kansas City being for the number 1 seed if the Steelers play to their best? That's really optimistic, but could be within the realm of possibility potential.
Get me all excited here. Let's talk about this division. The AFC North shockingly all plays at 1:00 on Sunday in week 9. So let's go over these games here, and we'll start off with Broncos, the 5-3, shockingly 5-3 Denver Broncos going to the Baltimore Ravens, 5-3 as well. 1:00 CBS. Here, listen to these numbers. I don't know what this line is. It just seems off. Baltimore is giving Denver 8.5 points. With an over-under of 46.5. Yeah. So the Broncos have a good defense. The Ravens do not. This is strength on strength, in my opinion. What's your takeaway on this
one? My heart wants the Broncos, obviously, to win this game. But I don't know. This kind of feels like the reestablishment game for Baltimore, because I still think they're a really good team, and I think the defense can get better. But it's been a season of issues for that defense, and every week it seems like it's something new. But the one thing that we know about John Harbaugh-led teams is that they typically fare well against rookie quarterbacks, and they fare well against running games. And the Broncos, Javonte Williams coming in pretty hot. Bo Nix likes to use his legs. I think the Ravens can do enough schematically to confuse him. And so I think the Ravens win this game. I do not like the 8.5. 8.5 is what you said? That's a crazy number for the way the Ravens have been playing defense. But I do expect this to hit close to that over mark. That's a good over-under there at 46.5. So I'll take the over, but I'm going to take the Ravens winning by like 4 in this game.
Well, Lamar Jackson hasn't practiced yet this week.
That's true.
As of this being recorded. I think he's going to play, but they said it's back and knee. I don't know. It's interesting. We'll see. I think the Ravens win, but again, I think it's going to be close. Let's go to the next game. The LA Chargers and their tough defense. They're 4-3. They're going to the Cleveland Browns to play Jameis Winston and the Browns, who are now 2-6. Right now, the Chargers are giving the Browns 1.5 points with a total of 41.5. What do you think about this one?
This might be the most evenly matched game of the week. And I know the Browns they've got 2 wins now, right?
Yep.
2-6. Yeah. I know that they're riding high, but I mean, Justin Herbert's playing really good football. He's kind of doing a lot on his own for this offense. I like J.K. Dobbins. He's familiar with how the Browns play. Jim Harbaugh's going to be familiar with the Browns and how they like to play. He's going to obviously know from Greg Roman how that defense likes to play too. So I don't know. I like the Chargers in this one, in a close one. I think they cover their number, and the Browns ride maybe 1 week of high under Jameis Winston. Not that it comes crashing back down here, but I just still don't think they're a very complete team. How high is your ceiling when your quarterback is Jameis Winston, and that's a significant upgrade on what you had before? Doesn't feel very good to me.
There's certain things that I've been screaming from the mountaintops for what feels like forever, and people are just now coming to realize it. Like I've been saying for a while that the Ravens secondary is trash. They are awful.
Atrocious.
And they're horrible. And now I've been saying this for a long time. Everyone's like, oh, wow, the Ravens secondary really is bad. It's like, welcome to the party, pal.
Yeah.
So I've been saying since I watched the Browns and Ravens last week that Jameis Winston was unbelievably lucky. He had at least 3 interceptions dropped. He's super risky with the football. The Chargers do have a good defense. I don't think the Browns win this one. I think the Chargers win to move to 5-3. The Browns 2-7 are probably final nail in the coffin, done for the season. And they might be sellers at the deadline if they lose this game. Zadarius Smith might get shipped off because they might want some draft capital back. So I like the Chargers to win. I like them to cover the 41.5 points. I'm going to take the under in that one.
Yeah, I would do that too. This feels like a 17-14 type game. It really does.
Yeah, something like that. The Chargers defense is good. They're good.
Yep.
All right, let's go to the last game in the AFC North. The Raiders travel to Cincinnati at Paycor and play the Bengals. The Raiders are 2-6. Bengals are 3-5. Raiders are coming off a tough loss to the Chiefs. Bengals are coming off a tough loss to the Eagles. Cincinnati is spotting the Raiders a touchdown with an over-under of 46.5. What do you think here?
That's a lot of love for the Bengals at that spread there. And I get it because it's still Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Is T. Higgins playing in this game? I haven't gotten a chance to see if he's coming back yet. But
let me check while you talk.
Yeah, his presence makes a big difference. But that Bengals defense, they can give up whatever points necessary for the other team to win. So I think this has a chance to be higher scoring. And I think that, Gardner Minshew, for all the lows he has some pretty nice highs as well throughout a season. He can put together, he's as streaky as they come. He can put together a streaky half or something to put your team in position to win. But I still think the Bengals win this one, but I do think it's going to be close. I don't think any of the AFC North teams would run away with a game that they're playing this week. So I'm going to take the Bengals, but I like the Raiders to cover. And what was the over-under on this one?
46.5. That seems high.
That seems high to me too. Yeah, I think I'll take the under on the over-under there, but close game, hard fought. The Bengals, nothing's coming easy to them. I don't think that changes this week.
Yeah, no Aiden O'Connell. Gardner Minshew is going to be the quarterback. If he can not turn it over, they have a chance here. But I think the Bengals just have too much firepower. If T. Higgins plays, I think they win easily. If he doesn't play, it's going to be a lot closer. I saw Macaulay Culkin went as Joe Burrow for a Halloween party, and I was like, you know what? I got to take the Bengals now because I hope they lose. Trust me, but I think they win this game. All right, Jeremy, this will be good. A good bye week. Any final thoughts here?
I do have a couple final thoughts. It's not the teams we thought it would be, but the AFC is still tough, and the Steelers don't have the luxury of coming out flat after the bye week. You've got a Chargers team that could be just a game behind them. You've got a Broncos team that is a game behind the Steelers in the standings. I know you got wins over both of those squads, but you can't afford to just relax things because the Jets stink and the Bengals are struggling and the Browns aren't very good. There's still some good teams in the AFC that are worth, staying hot and keeping above board here. So don't get lazy, Steelers fans, and think that we're just about to run away with everything. I know we've got high expectations now, as we should, but I think that there's still a chance that if the Steelers stumble, some people could catch them, and we don't want that happening where we're sneaking in for what seems like the 19th year in a row. We want this to be a foregone conclusion before the end of the season. So just keep the course and keep plugging away here.
All right, perfect, Jeremy. Thank you for your time, man. Do you want to plug anything, social media? I saw you're doing a giveaway to try to get to 1,000 followers on Twitter.
Yeah, so my birthday is November 11th. It's also Veterans Day. So I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers by then. I'm going to give away a Salute to Service hoodie to whoever wins. And it doesn't have to be a Steelers fan. I'd love it if it's a Steelers fan, but just want to get somebody in one of those really nice Salute to Service hoodies. And so give me a follow if you haven't already at the Betz 93. We're moving the we didn't do the Q&A last night, so it's going to be on Sunday. So check that out on Sunday. And then stay tuned for the rest of the podcast the Draft Dynasty podcast and the Steelers Fix this coming week as well.
All right, perfect, man. Hey, enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk next week. Take it easy.
Have a good one, Jeff.
See ya.